Real Madrid. Oh my goodness, man. This club never stops to amaze me, honestly. I'll keep on saying it because they use this to banter every La Liga team, every Barcelona team, every Barcelona fans. If Kylian Mbappé comes, they're going to win everything. Everything. By the way, guys, Arbeloa, who is the current coach of Real Madrid, is on his way out. Yes, rumors have come out, and if any rumor come out from Marca, from Diario AS, these are two top a news company or whatever they call it that is being managed by Florentino Pérez. If it comes out and said somebody is leaving or somebody is coming, believe that comes from the up side of Florentino Pérez. Real Madrid now have already spoken and said Arbeloa is going. That's the third coach since Kylian Mbappé came into this Real Madrid team in the last 2 years. 3 coaches in 2 years. That is incredible. And they have been speaking to a lot of coaches. They've been speaking to a lot of coaches. They've been going out of there looking for where, even asking opinions through their media outlets like the Diario AS, the Marca, the Chiringuito, many of them, Partidazo Cope and the rest of them. They've been asking people, using them to ask people, who do you want to come? You know, Florentino has a way of working. That guy is a big time mafia. Yeah, he knows how to work with things. He wants to read the people, know what they want, and bring them the person that they require. So he's using this media to ask people to know opinions. You know, even the media will give their opinion. So he will be the one on the top to just sit down and analyze every opinion and say, okay, bring me this man. But Florentino, sometimes life doesn't work the way you want. Life doesn't work the way you want. Yes, he has been the man in charge for Real Madrid for over 2 decades. One of the greatest presidents, yes. If Florentino calls you, you have to answer the call. But a lot of coaches have come out. They've been saying that he wants to sign different coach, and there have been a lot of names out. This champ, we all know the champ with France. He's a born winner. He have won World Cup and bring out this best set of French players. And he's one of the names being called. They've called Scaloni, the Argentinian coach, which is a tremendous coach, one of the best coach in the world at the moment. Yes, he coached one of the greatest team that Argentina have ever produced, but he's not, let not lie, he's one of the best coach in the world as we speak. They've called Allegri. They've called many names, but there's one name that every Real Madrid fans are talking, which is Klopp. Klopp as a manager. We all know Klopp, the history of Klopp. Klopp is a top manager. Klopp has already coached Dortmund, left Dortmund to Liverpool, spent 7 years before he could win his first trophy. Or 4 years, 4 years before he could win his first trophy. That is the difference between Liverpool, other clubs, and Real Madrid and Barcelona. You cannot come to Barcelona and tell Barcelona or Real Madrid that you're going to spend 4 years without trophy. It's impossible. They want immediate impact. You come into a club. Let's imagine that all these managers, even José Mourinho, has been already mentioned. And at some point, it seems like the rightful manager could be José Mourinho coming back to Real Madrid. But let's put this in a big perspective now. Let's talk about the reality. The reality is the club have been managed by players which have a lot of egos. The club have been managed by players who have power over the manager. The club has been giving these players a lot of liberty to choose and to decide whoever they want. And now it's even affecting the players themselves. So as a coach, whether Mourinho, whether Klopp, whether Allegri, whether Scaloni, whether this champ or the rest, any coach they want to bring, coming into this club, looking at this club, and looking at what is happening in the club, do you think that any coach that come in, all these top managers will still make sure that Real Madrid get to that level that they want? Can they bring that immediate impact into the club? Because Real Madrid will not sit and wait for a club to just manage them for 4 years without trophy. Impossible. You all see what happened with Carlo Ancelotti. We all see what happened with Xabi Alonso. Carlo Ancelotti gave them the last 2 or 3 Champions League in a row, they still sack him because he couldn't win the trophy in the last season. And you want to bring a manager that you want to have patience. If you want to have patience, you could have left Xabi Alonso in the post. But what happened? The players were more powerful than the coach. And this is what every coach doesn't want. And the name being called from Real Madrid now is Klopp. And Klopp looking out Real Madrid and looking at everything happening in the club. What is he going to think? The question is, how can Florentino convince Klopp to go into Real Madrid? The only way to convince a manager into this Real Madrid team is to remove one of these MotoGPs you have in that team. You see Jude Bellingham, you see Vinícius, you see Mbappé, one of them has to go. Let's not even bring Jude Bellingham. Move Jude Bellingham. You see Vinícius, Mbappé. You see these two names. One of them has to leave. Then you could start making changes, because there are some players too in Real Madrid that you could see that they're not making any effort. They're not making any progress. Many of these players, I could mention names, but the two big names you should call and remove from that team is either Vinícius or Kylian Mbappé. This is what a coach wants. This is the only way I think Perez could convince any coach, or not to talk of Klopp himself, because Klopp, you cannot bring Klopp now into a team of egos. Impossible. And when you talk about egos and he's trying to change things the way Xabi Alonso did, and the player starts getting against him, he's going to leave. Germans, they don't waste time, they leave. Look at Hansi Flick in Barcelona. He was given the power to manage the club, and if you look at him, he lives like he's the father of the club. Every decision has to go through Hansi Flick. Not like Real Madrid, that every decision has to go through Florentino Pérez. The managers are not being given the power to decide. Not, even the president himself doesn't allow the manager to choose who he wants to sign. The president chooses who he wants to sign for the market, for the deals, for the egos, for the fame, for the accolades. That's why you see him bringing Kylian Mbappé, which wasn't requested by Carlo Ancelotti. And if you look at Carlo Ancelotti, you ask him, did you want Kylian Mbappé during that period? He doesn't want it. He already had Vinícius Júnior, who was the best in the world during that period. Immediately Kylian Mbappé got into the team, everybody dropped their level. The level was astronomically dropped. And this is a very interesting topic, honestly. What do you think, guys? That's why I'm asking you. The name being called right now, the name being called in everybody's lip is Jurgen Klopp. How can Florentino Pérez convince Klopp to come and coach Real Madrid? That's a big question. That's why I ask you guys, what do you think? If you're Florentino Pérez, how can you convince Klopp to come and coach this current Real Madrid side? Because knowing fully well that once you convince Klopp, you try to convince him, you have to convince him with the power. You have to give him the power to coach. You have to give him the power to manage, and you have to give him the power to decide who comes in and who goes out. A quick one, guys. Continuation of the last video. This was like 2 hours ago before I'm making this one. So I'm joining this together just in case if you notice different voice change and different power of voice, because I just arrived and I came to a place, traveled somewhere. I came to do something very important. But the big news is, seems Florentino Pérez has already chosen his coach. He has already chosen his coach, and the name out there is José Mourinho, which is somebody who puts force and brings ego of every players down. Will it be a good signing? Do you think José Mourinho would be the perfect signing for Real Madrid? Because remember, since he left Real Madrid, it has been like this. Went to Manchester United like this. Went to Tottenham like this. Went back to Chelsea like this. Went to where else did he go? Roma like this. Went to Fenerbahce like this. And now he's in Benfica like this. So him coming back to Real Madrid with the fact of facing an ego dressing room with no unity in all this big MotoGP of players that Real Madrid has currently, with Kylian Mbappé, Vinícius, and Jude Bellingham, and the rest of them.
Do you think it's a perfect signing for Real Madrid? Do you think Mourinho signing, if it happens, is going to be a success for Real Madrid? Let me know down in the comment below. I'll be reading there. It's a very big news, very big one, knowing fully well that next season is going to be something bigger. The clubs are working. Barcelona are working, Real Madrid are working, so are other clubs in the world. But the big news right now, Mourinho to Real Madrid is just a matter of time.
Guys, we're on our way to 1,000. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Peace.